Let's unravel the layers of this rare occurrence and understand the dynamics that lead to the emergence of the INFJ's assertive side. 1. The triggering catalyst. Values under siege. The INFJ's transformation into a forceful entity often stems from a profound sense of values being under siege. Whether it's an injustice, a violation of principles, or witnessing harm to those they care about, the INFJ's dormant assertiveness can be awakened. Boundary breaches. The gentle exterior of the INFJ hides a fortress of personal boundaries. When these boundaries are repeatedly breached, the INFJ may unleash a striking response, signaling that their limits have been crossed. 2. The emergence of assertiveness. INFJs are adept at navigating social dynamics with a quiet grace. When pushed beyond their threshold, this quiet demeanor can transform into assertiveness, as the INFJ seeks to protect what they hold dear. The usually nuanced and subtle communicator becomes surprisingly direct. The INFJ's words, laced with conviction, cut through the noise to convey their stance clearly and unambiguously. INFJs typically navigate social interactions with a calm and contemplative demeanor. Their ability to listen, empathize, and communicate with subtlety often defines their interpersonal style. The emergence of assertiveness begins internally. It's not a sudden transformation but a process fueled by a deep-seated conviction, often stemming from a perceived injustice or a breach of values. INFJs are skilled communicators, often conveying their thoughts and feelings with nuance and depth. However, when assertiveness comes into play, there's a shift towards clear and direct expression. The INFJ, known for their carefully chosen words, becomes more precise and explicit in their communication. They articulate their thoughts with a newfound clarity that commands attention. Assertiveness in INFJs is often triggered by a perceived threat to their core values. It could be witnessing an injustice, experiencing a breach of trust, or seeing harm done to those they care about. The INFJ's boundaries, which are typically flexible and accommodating, become non-negotiable when crossed. Assertiveness arises as a protective response to safeguard these boundaries. As assertiveness takes the stage, INFJs exhibit a heightened sense of conviction. They no longer merely express opinions, they assert their beliefs and principles with a fervor that reflects their unwavering commitment. There's a moral righteousness that accompanies the assertive INFJ. Driven by a strong moral compass, they become advocates for justice and fairness, unwilling to compromise on principles. Even in the assertive state, INFJs retain their emotional intelligence. They navigate conflict with grace, expressing their views without resorting to aggression and maintaining an awareness of the emotional dynamics at play. The assertive INFJ strikes a delicate balance between strength and sensitivity. Their assertiveness is not a denial of their empathetic nature but an extension of it, a protective stance that arises from deep care. For INFJs, assertiveness becomes a tool for reinforcing boundaries. It's a declaration that certain lines should not be crossed and that there are non-negotiable aspects integral to their well-being. In asserting themselves, INFJs also communicate a powerful lesson in respect. It's an assertion that demands acknowledgement and understanding, fostering healthier dynamics in relationships. Post-assertiveness, the INFJ seeks a return to equilibrium. They are not proponents of prolonged conflict but agents of change who aim to restore harmony, often through open communication and understanding. Lessons learned for future interactions. Every episode of assertiveness leaves the INFJ with lessons. They reflect on the dynamics, assessing what led to the emergence of their assertive side, and use these insights to navigate future interactions more effectively. 3. The fury of protection. Witnessing harm to the vulnerable or injustices perpetrated against the innocent can awaken a fierce protective instinct in the INFJ. They become advocates for those who cannot advocate for themselves. When confronted with actions that clash with their deep-seated morals, the INFJ's fury is a response to what they perceive as a violation of fundamental ethical principles. At the core of the INFJ's protective fury is an instinct to safeguard the vulnerable. Whether it's a friend, family member, or a societal group facing injustice, the INFJ steps into the role of a guardian with unwavering determination. The fury of protection often arises when the INFJ witnesses harm done to those who cannot defend themselves. Their protective instincts kick in, and they become fervent advocates for the innocent. The INFJ's moral compass is a powerful catalyst for their protective fury. When they perceive actions that clash with their deeply held values, a surge of indignation fuels their resolve to intervene and protect what is right. The protective fury of an INFJ is closely tied to a sense of justice. It's not about vengeance but about rectifying wrongs, ensuring fairness, and championing the principles they hold dear. INFJs form deep emotional connections with those they care about. The protective fury is ignited when these connections are threatened or harmed, prompting them to stand as a bulwark against emotional or physical harm. This isn't a detached or impersonal fury. It's fueled by the INFJ's empathy, an emotional response to the suffering of others that drives them to take action and protect those in need. The fury of protection serves as a counterbalance to perceived injustices. INFJs become agents of equilibrium, seeking to restore balance in situations where power dynamics are skewed or where harm has been inflicted. While assertive, the INFJ's approach is often diplomatic. Their goal is not to perpetuate conflict but to assertively address the issues at hand, seeking resolutions that align with their principles. In the face of injustice, the INFJ transforms into a metaphorical warrior for justice. This isn't about physical confrontation, but a determined, assertive stance aimed at rectifying wrongs and creating a fairer world. The INFJ's protective fury often channels into constructive activism. They engage in actions that bring about positive change, whether it's advocating for social causes, intervening in personal relationships, or addressing systemic issues. Post the surge of protective fury, INFJs engage in reflective introspection. They evaluate the aftermath, considering the impact of their actions and seeking avenues for reconciliation and understanding. INFJs, even in the aftermath, remain committed to constructive solutions. Their goal is not merely to express fury but to contribute to positive change, fostering a sense of justice and fairness. The challenge for INFJs lies in balancing their empathetic nature with the need for protection. They navigate a delicate dance, ensuring that their protective instincts don't overshadow their capacity for understanding and empathy. Ultimately, the INFJ's protective fury is an extension of their compassion. It's a manifestation of their deep care for the well-being of others and their commitment to creating a world where compassion and justice prevail. 4. Striking for balance. Restoring equilibrium. The INFJ's assertiveness serves a purpose: to restore equilibrium. It's a calibrated response to counterbalance perceived injustices and to reintroduce a sense of fairness and ethical conduct. Fighting for justice. In these moments, the INFJ embodies the archetype of the warrior for justice. Their fight is not rooted in aggression but in a deep-seated commitment to fairness and a desire to right the wrongs they perceive. 5. The aftermath of fury. Reflection and reconciliation. Post the assertive outburst, INFJs often engage in reflective introspection. They assess the aftermath, seeking to understand the dynamics that led to their forceful response and contemplating avenues for reconciliation. Balancing the scales, INFJs, while capable of assertiveness, are not fans of conflict. Post-strike, they often seek ways to restore harmony, whether through open dialogue, compromise, or finding common ground. 6. Learning and growth. Integration of assertiveness. The experience of assertiveness becomes a part of the INFJ's growth journey. It's a realization that they possess the strength to stand firm when values are at stake, a facet that might surprise even the INFJ themselves. Balancing gentleness and assertiveness. Learning to balance the inherent gentleness with the occasional need for assertiveness is a crucial aspect of the INFJ's ongoing personal development. It's a dance between compassion and strength. In conclusion, when the INFJ strikes back, it's a manifestation of their profound commitment to values, justice, and the protection of the vulnerable. It's a glimpse into the seldom-seen assertive side of the advocate, a reminder that beneath the calm exterior lies a formidable force driven by an unwavering commitment to what they hold dear. As we continue to explore the intricate landscapes of personality types, stay tuned to Psych IQ for more insights into the fascinating world of human behavior.